11 years and it all comes down to this. Our entire lives packed into boxes. And the rooms filled with memories from years past are now just that. Memories. Moving day doesn't need any more drama, but Kelsey ended up with a flat tire just to add to the fun.
Uh-oh, full moon tonight.
So the first time I ever drove a truck with a trailer was last year. Yep. Just really was something that I never did as a kid, and my dad never really had trailers or anything like that. So last year was somewhat of a learning curve. I started off with my small little utility trailer. I have a dump trailer that's a 16-foot, and then for some reason I decided it would be a good idea to jump straight into a 24-foot cargo trailer here. Now the reason that I did that, wasn't really planning on getting one this big, but I needed something that could fit my UTV in the back as far as the door height, and most of these don't have a door height that can fit the UTVs in there easily. So when I went to buy one, this is what they had, and I just decided, I knew we had tons of moving to do, that I would just go for it, and maybe I'll keep it, maybe I'll decide I want one slightly smaller. But the first couple times that I drove it, I definitely got home and thought, I have no idea what I did to myself, because it was pretty nerve-wracking, and still backing it into certain areas I'm getting used to. I'm getting better at it, but as you can see here today, Kelsey's usually here to help guide me, and she wasn't here today, so it took me a little bit to get this thing in here, but I did do it.
Well, that thing is a beast. But I made it, barely.
Hello, Ernie. Hi, Ernie. Hello, Ernie.
Go find all your smells. All your stuff is here. Ernie, come here. Ernie. Look it, we can sit.
Yep.
You guys want to see your yard? That's for you. We'll have to get some chips down for you, okay? Fiona.
The dogs chowed down on their first meal at the new place, and then it was time to crash after a long day.
Was moving day hard for you? Are you worn out?
Fiona's like,
Well, good morning. We survived night one. It was a little bit of tossing and turning, but everyone did fairly well. Just as long as the dogs are close to us, they're fine. But as soon as you just let them go on their own, they're a little confused at this point. And Fiona's just pretty much wandering around the whole shop. I'm sure it seems absolutely enormous to her after having such a small space at our house for so long. But a few things to work on today that I need to get done before. There's supposed to be some rain coming in, and we do have that dog area back there, so I got to get a few things prepped for that before it becomes a huge mud mess. Can't get into that temporary fence from this side, so I'll have to walk around now, spread these out and see if I need to go get a little bit more or if I'm good with this load. So let's find out. Well, that should do it for now. I think one bucket will just cover it, and as it settles, I'll probably have to get a little more on there, but that'll work for now. So hopefully it just keeps the mud away, at least right in this entryway door, since the dogs are going out here as their spot for now. Got our in-floor heat on, set to 66, but it's actually 67 in here right now. So the upper temperature is the room and the bottom temperature is the concrete.
We had a few finishing touches and cleanup to do at the old house on the last day of ownership. And then it was time for the final goodbyes. Meanwhile, back at Westberrie, it was time to start cleaning and making the shop feel like home, which it will be for a little while, as the living area is still waiting to be finished.
This is kind of a test because it's going to go on the other side of this wall.
Yeah.
The dogs were getting settled in, Kelsey was cooking in her makeshift kitchen, and hockey was playing in the background as it usually is. The next morning we woke to some freezing fog and the beginnings of what felt like real winter.
Welcome to Westberrie, everybody. Thought you might be interested in how we are living lives in our shop, so come along for a tour. Ryan's been dealing with a little bit of cold, a little bit of sickness this last week, so you get me today until he sounds human. Come into our entryway. We have everything we need for shoveling snow, shoes, coats, anything that we need to enter and exit. Pretty common. All of our dogs' things so that we can go out for a walk. For living room, we are currently using our patio furniture. We are waiting to get new furniture when we move into the home, and we do have a set that we have from our old house, but it is powered, and power is limited in the shop, believe it or not, right now. So Christmas tree, I thought that was necessary for the season. The dogs seem to be very comfortable. They have adjusted very well. So they've got all their beds and comfortable places and everything that they need. This is one thing that has restored a little bit of normalcy to life for us, and that's our dining room table. It's been very nice to have that here so that we're not eating off our laps or TV trays. So this works really well for us to be able to still have meals and come along and see the kitchen. We still get home cooked meals every day. Ironically, we have more refrigerators than we have cabinets. So this refrigerator will end up in our main kitchen. This is one that we took from our old house. We have toaster oven. This has been an absolute savior. I'm so glad that we have that available for air frying, baking, toasting, everything that we need, microwave and coffee. And then this is our old garage fridge that will be our garage fridge, but for now it is pantry storage. So that has worked very well for us as well. Obviously deep freeze. And then I've got a camping stove that we've been using once in a while with more pantry storage, and then the fridge that will eventually go in my canning kitchen is our main fridge right now as well. I've got a nice prep station over here, towels and dishes. table space. Washer and dryer is non-functional right now, which I have to tell you is probably the one thing that I miss the most, is being able to just throw a load of laundry in. Right now we are taking laundry off-site, so that's been an experience, but those will be, I will be very happy to see those hooked up again. So we're coming into our multi-purpose room, mechanical room. Obviously this is kind of a walkthrough for our day-to-day life, but this is where Ryan is working currently. This is our bathroom. It's the only functioning toilet we have. There is a functioning shower upstairs, so we can go into the house and use the shower, but this is the only functioning toilet and sink. So this has worked out really well for us though. It's very convenient right off the kitchen and has been really nice. We are currently set up for our bedroom in the trailer, and we did that for a couple reasons. One, because we know that contractors are going to be coming and going, so this just gives us an opportunity to tuck things away in case they're here at different hours than we're sleeping, or just for some privacy. So this is our bedroom area with all of our clothing. It's nice to have at least some of our things unpacked, and it makes it feel very homey. There's a lot of things that we recognize, you know, coming from our other bedroom, so it's been an easy transition for us and the dogs. One thing that I would have done differently with our move is when I knew we were moving out to our big space, I just said, let's unload everything and put it in one big pile. And it posed its problems to start. So we reorganized everything. We now have pockets of things that are going to individual rooms, especially since this is a temporary but long-term temporary solution for us. It helps us be able to find everything. But just to give you an idea of the space that we're living in, so we have this 24-foot trailer in here that we're using as our bedroom. Obviously we have a couple pieces of equipment in here. We also have everything that we own is in some kind of box or pile in here. Ryan's full-size diesel truck. And then we have a whole pile of furniture, cabinets, stove, vanities, you name it, that's eventually going to migrate into the house in some way as a permanent feature, is all being stored in that pile as well.
Late one afternoon, the sun had wiped away all the frost on the trees, but by the sounds of it, winter was about to arrive with some force.
Well, it's the calm before the storm right now, and not too bad out for temperature, but last night I started to get an area prepared for Kelsey's garden next season, at least the tentative area that we think we're going to put it in right now. We haven't figured out exactly how we're going to get water down to this thing. We have a few different ideas, specifically on the back of the building right here. There's going to be plenty of water coming off of that eave spout, so we can probably collect all that stuff, and then I'd have to have some sort of pump to run it down to the garden area, because I haven't measured it out yet, but I think it's about probably 150 feet away, maybe slightly farther than that. But I'm gonna have to measure that out and see what we're gonna do to get the water down to that section. And also, depending on when I put irrigation in, I could probably run a line from over here, because that's where the main line is coming in on this side of the house, and run it down to her garden area as well for irrigation down there. We're looking at a possible pretty big winter storm coming in, not necessarily a ton of snow, but I'm hearing right now about up to 60-mile-per-hour gusts as far as winds. So if you have any snow like that and it happens to be fairly light and not a super heavy wet snow, then blizzard conditions are very possible here coming up in the next couple days. So depending on what all happens with that, I'll definitely be filming. So all of our strong wind will be coming from this section right over here, so I wanted to move the skid steer back up against the building as close as I could, just to try to protect it from the wind as much as I can. And that way, in case I need to use it, hopefully it will start. Not only are we supposed to get this snow and wind, but the temperatures are supposed to drop to somewhere around 7 below, low of somewhere around 13 below. And when you add in those winds, I saw that the wind chill should be around -40. So hopefully, if I have to move some snow or something, that thing is going to start. But
The flurries were just beginning as I worked through a few more tasks before the storm.
we've been saving these shed pieces from Kelsey's old shed at our old house for a while, just in case there was something we could do with them, and I have an idea.
Now the question is going to be, can I get up this hill? Even though it doesn't look that steep on camera, it is fairly steep. Pulling a trailer with no four-wheel drive in my truck, and it's actually fairly slippery right down here, so I'm gonna have to get a head start at this.
Gotta love the old 99. So I've just got to find a way to maybe put some holes through this and then get some wire and tie it to the chain link, but the wind is all going to be coming this way, and we knew that we're not going to be able to really take the dogs out onto this side unless you want to get hit by 60-mile-per-hour wind and blowing snow right in your face. So Kelsey and I talked about maybe grabbing these old shed pieces, at least covering the worst part of it, so there's a spot to go out here and covering most of the doorway. So we'll see if we can make that work.
Lesson for today is also, even though you don't think you need your mud boots, you probably need your mud boots. Alright, we got our temporary fence done and secured in place as much as possible. Got some pretty heavy gauge wire and drilled a few holes through here and attached that to the posts on the inside. So we shall see if it holds up to 50-mile-per-hour wind.
The snow began to fall in the afternoon and all the way through the evening. A magical experience that I never grow tired of. We were cozy inside the shop and woke the next morning to the wind. We've been trying to make the shop feel like home as much as possible. Unfortunately, I spent Christmas with the flu, and you can probably still hear it in my voice. But Kelsey put up the tree to make it feel more like the holidays, and the dogs are enjoying it too.
On second thought, I'm not leaving this thing outside. Got plenty of room in here. I just took the bucket off, and actually, it's not that big when you get the bucket off of there, so that'll work.
Well, the storm came and went, and it didn't turn out to be that bad. It was honestly more of the cold than anything else. We did get some snow, but not a ton of snow, but it was up to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 40 below wind chill for about 3 straight days. So that makes it pretty difficult to get the dogs out. Their feet get so frozen so fast, and it's hard to get them out there. And of course, they like to go out and actually move around and stuff, even though it's winter, and that couldn't happen at all, so they get kind of restless on that part too. Our fencing did hold up perfectly. We're very lucky that we figured out something with that, because the wind was coming directly into that doorway, and it would have made it really difficult to try to do anything with the dogs out there. Probably would have had to just take them out some other doors, but then you got to get their leashes on and do all that other stuff. So this makes it a lot easier, and that worked out well. Kelsey always said that that shed was going to come in handy for something, and she was definitely right on that.
We had a white Christmas this year, and here's to hoping this snowy landscape continues to stick around during these cold winter months.
We'll make the best of tonight. most of